Hi, it's Dave here, and I'm getting ready for a tennis tournament tomorrow. I'm playing here in Houston, down at the Lee LeClaire Tennis Center, and I'm getting ready for it, and thought I would do a little video of what's in your bag. On the tennis channel, they go to the pros and they say, what's in your bag? And they actually pull the stuff out and show you what's going on there. If you're not a tennis player, you wonder why we take these ginormous bags out to the tennis court. What the heck is in those things? Even as a tennis player myself, I wonder with the pros, they take two of the big ginormous racket bags out there, and not the ones I use, actually the bigger ones that hold 12 rackets. And you wonder, what the heck do they have in there? And so anyhow, I'm preparing for a tennis tournament tomorrow. We're in a heat wave, so normally at this time of year, the temperature will be 93 Fahrenheit, and the real feel will be 105. On the court, it's about 110, 115, because the courts absorb the heat and then give it off again. We're in a heat wave tomorrow, and the forecast is for it to get to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So I don't know what it's going to be on the court. With the real feel and the court effect, I'm probably looking at 120, maybe 125. I don't know. So that'll be the toughest conditions I've ever played on. So I've given a little extra thought to my preparation, hoping to survive. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit scared. So anyhow, the first thing I start doing is emptying my ice machine and putting it in my freezer. Ice is available everywhere here in Texas in the summer, but it is cheaper and a little bit more environmentally friendly if you make your own ice. And the ice machines in a standard fridge, they just can't keep up. I'm just gonna put this in the freezer while I'm talking to you. So you start that a few days in advance. Lee LeClaire actually has the best tennis machine I've seen of anywhere on the circuit, including Austin, Dallas, Beaumont, or anywhere. But you can't take a chance of showing up and there being no ice. If 50 tennis players go to that ice machine before you, no matter how good a tennis machine there is, there's not going to be enough left for you. And you just can't take a chance of being without ice. And I'll get back more to ice in a little bit. So I'm going to be heading out on court with two rackets. You check your grips in advance. I check to make sure I've got my dampeners installed. This is actually, I broke a string. The last time I had a hit, I broke a string. So actually I'll be dropping this off to my stringer, Andy Andrews, and picking up a racket that he already has in his hands. So I'll be doing that on the way to the tournament tomorrow morning. Two is okay, but if you want real, I have done two strings on two different rackets in a match before, so I won't have three rackets because I wasn't organized enough, but I will have this in the car, so I'll have a third racket if I need it. I likely won't. I keep extra hats in my bag, and those are important because sometimes you'll have a hat and it's not staying on because of all the sweat or whatever. So I know I'm going to need at least two for match one and match two, and but I have extras just in case they're not behaving well for me. So I've also, before I even get more into the tennis bag, I've got my clothes set aside, what I'm going to go and arrive in. I've got those set aside already. I've picked a light color scheme so that I absorb as little of that extremely hot sun as possible. I go out with at least two towels, usually three, but one of these towels is going to be to sit on, because when you sit on the bench, it's so hot, it would transmit more heat into you than you already have, believe it or not. It's actually painful to sit on the benches. So you take one to sit on and one to mop sweat with. I take the third one just in case the one gets too drained. But when it's this hot, I actually leave it out to dry. It's usually dry by the time I get back. So I'm only going to go with two tomorrow. Now, because I've got two matches tomorrow, I've got my match two bag here. So these will go in here. And I've got a third. This will stay in the car. And if I need it, it's there. But hopefully I won't. Anyhow, this is my match two bag. So in here, I've got my my second set of clothes. So that's shorts, socks, and 3 t-shirts. I've got my second pair of tennis shoes because it's going to be hot there. I leave the socks in them so they're easy to find and I don't have to do much thinking. After match one, I'll be tired, I'll be potentially a little woozy, I'll be drained. I want to do as little thinking as possible and have a shower down there. So here's my towel. I can jump in the shower, put some cold water on me, try to cool down as much as possible. And of course I'll need to apply sun lotion again. So I've got that all here in my match two bag, ready to go. So I'll get that out of the way. That does not go to court. After match one, I go to the car, get that, and bring it into the locker room. So here are my match 1 towels. I'll put those in here. Oh no, I've already done that. What am I doing? Oh, these are my match 2 towels. They go in the match 2 bag. Wrong bag. And now I've got my gear bag. So in the gear bag, I've got the grip tapes. These are the standard ones, the sticky ones that most people like to use. If it's extremely humid and I just can't keep a grip on the rackets, I've got the you know, the really absorbent tape. I haven't needed that in the past. I didn't need it last weekend, but I like to have it. And if needed, I'll pull off the grip and I'll just redo it on the court. These are my knee straps. I don't often need them anymore, which is good. But I also have shoelaces in there. If you break a lace, you can't lose a match because you break a lace. So anyhow, I tend to have extra laces quite a bit because I'm a toe dragger. I try not to toe drag, but I'm not that good at it. So when I go through a shoe and I open up a toe, the laces from that, well, the shoes become organ donors, and that gives me the extra laces I need for backup. So I keep my gear stuff. Oh yeah, and I have a little massager here in case I need to try to loosen up my forearms or my shoulders in between matches. So, oh, and I've also got extra dampeners. And everything comes in these wrappers that are so darn hard to open. So I use scissors to open it, and then I just put it in a little plastic baggie, which is easy to open, so that I don't have to mess with it in the heat if I actually need it. So that's my extra gear bag. I have a little elastic here, just trying to loosen up the shoulder if I get a few extra minutes, especially if it's indoors. I keep sun lotion in here. I'll have sun lotion everywhere. I'll have sun lotion in the car, sun lotion in bag 2, but I also like keeping sun lotion in the tennis bag. Now, in this extreme heat, most people would think, at least I used to think in my homeland, that I might need a Gatorade. Well, the Gatorade's not strong enough, so I'll be drinking electrolytes. There's all kinds of different mixes. I'm currently on none. And the reason I like none is because it's small, it's portable. I don't have to make it and mix powder from a big jug. I take it out on court with me. I flip it into the water jug, and that's it. So I can have lots with me and just keep them handy in my bag, and I can keep putting them in my water as I keep refilling. I carry the blocks with me. I'll usually go through one of these per match. On a hot day like today, I have extras in case I need them. And then I have an extra bag if I need to put wet clothes or wet old shirts or whatever in that as I go through the match. I have a few warm-up balls in case I get some hitting time and I need to work through something. I won't do that in the heat unless I'm really, really desperate. If I really need to work through an issue, I'll see if I can get someone to hit with me for 5 minutes. But you want to stay out of that heat as much as possible. I'm a headband guy, so I have a headband I'll be wearing, but I have extras. I usually go through one a set. Sometimes it's so bad I'll 2-layer. So I've got these small little neoprene ones. This is a Nike one, which I'll put sometimes under a headband, or sometimes this is actually really neat, really absorbent. I'll use this under my hat. Just anything I can to try to keep my eyes free and open so I can see. You can hit the ball a lot better, of course, if you can see it. These are my wristbands. I usually go through one of those a set. Those are what I use when I'm on court, trying to keep the sweat out of my eyes. The sweat that does either get under my bandana or comes even just from the eyes and the face area. And then this, okay, so these are my extra clothes. So I have extra socks, I have 2 extra shirts, and extra shorts. Now, I only change shorts if I break something. Socks I usually don't need to change, but if it gets too wet and spongy, I will change them. Now shirts are probably, at least from this bag, the most common thing I would change. I keep 2 extra. If I'm doing okay and I have momentum, I probably won't change my shirt during the match. If it's a real grueler and we split sets and go to 3rd set, then I probably will change my shirt. So that's the tennis bag. And I'm gonna have 3 water bottles on court. I can go through 2 of these in one set if it's a long, grueling set. You can get timeouts to go and change them during the match, but I like to have 3 because I don't like going too often. That's more time in the sun, and I try to avoid that. So this will be my wallet, my phone, my keys, and I'll have my EpiPen basically in this one. I use an AviQ, which is like an EpiPen, but I'm definitely allergic to fire ants, and fire ants are almost everywhere. So that'll be pretty heavy by the time it's all loaded up. And then this is my ice chest. So my ice chest will have ice in it, and I have these face cloths. When I'm down there, I'll use their water spout to put water in it. And what I do is I have at least 3 face cloths in there. What I do is in between rounds, we change games, of course, every odd number of games, and you get 60 seconds. So I put this on here. I usually put one on my neck, ice water to try to cool the body down, and then I put another one in, and I'm doing the major veins below my knees and on my elbows. And then the last one I'll do, I'll put it on my brain, then I take the one from my neck, wipe my face off, and then I put these back. I gotta do this very quickly and efficiently because you don't have much time. And then I might take my hat in here and just put it on the brain and just feel the cold water oozing down on it. So I'll walk out with this. This I'll fill up here at the house with ice, and then I'll add the water when I get down there. So that's 3 face cloths for match 1, 3 face cloths for match 2. So this goes in the match 2 bag. And and these are some energy bars. Sometimes I'll eat them in between matches, sometimes I won't, but I like to have them because it's a security blanket for me. And that's it. So when I walk out, I'll have 2 things: this very heavy bag loaded with water, and then my ice chest. And that's it. So maybe some of you got a chuckle out of this. Hopefully you did. And wish me luck tomorrow, because conditions are going to be horrendous, and this is my strategy for how to survive. Have a nice day.